Nun Amar Aleph Mishnah, near the bottom. Gimel she'achlu ka'achas. 3 people eating together. Ein rishai l'chalik. Once they created a group that is machayav zimun, they can't separate and bench by themselves. V'chein dal v'chein chamisha vav nachlakin. If they're 6, they could divide into 2 groups of 3. Ad asara. V'asara ein nachlakin. Once they're 10, they can't break up anymore. Ad chaf. Then you can divide into 2 groups of 10. Shtei chavuros shayu oichlos v'vayis echad. 2 different groups that are eating in the same house, but they don't see each other. So, bisman shemiktos and roy neilu, as long as some of the group can see a member of the other group, and then you could 5 and 5 could join to 10 and lazima. If the 2 groups of 5 cannot see each other, then each one makes a regular zimun. And then we'll see if they have a joint waiter serving both groups, even if they don't see each other, they can also be mitzaref l'zimun. Ein mevarchen ala yain ad she'itein l'sochol mayim to Rabbi Eliezer. According to Rabbi Eliezer, undiluted wine is undrinkable, and therefore there's no bracha made unless you dilute it.
They made their wine very, very concentrated.
It's very
right?
concentrated.
Yeah. And why was that? To transport it was easier, and then they diluted it.
Yeah, you diluted it at the time that you drank it. With some, that was the processing at that time.
What's that?
They didn't want people to get drunk either, huh?
The Chachamim oimrim mevarchim.
Was so strong.
The Chachamim say no, you could still make a bracha even on that. So this issue that you can, once you establish, let's say 3 people have sat together, they can't split up anymore because there's a chiyuv zimun. So my kamash, well, tanina chadazimna. We already learned that before. Gimel shachul kachas chayvin l'zamin. So hakamash, well, chad says ki hadim ravav amar shmuel. That gimel shiyash v'lechol.
Do they have to do they have to say in advance that we're going to make a zimun? What if they don't say anything? You still consider them
If they're,
starting?
for example, if they're eating from the same loaf, so then it's
So let's say
considered.
on a wedding, you're sitting on the same table, you have 3 people.
Oh.
Many people like leave,
Yes.
and they don't say join me in the zimun, and they just walk out.
No, but it's, remember, you're invited to a wedding. You've been given a place card as
Yes.
one of the 10 people at that table. So it's already koiveya for you there. It's already established.
If you leave without a zimun,
But forget about a wedding.
I'm just-
3
that's
people
the same
come. 3 people come to a table, and there's 1 loaf of bread, and you all eat from the same loaf of bread.
Yeah.
Now, if you each come with your own sandwich from home,
Yeah.
and the 3 of you are at the table, that's not necessarily that you're going to be
In the
mezameh.
cafeteria.
No, you don't. Let's say you don't know each other. No,
So again, in a
so then
wedding-
unless you say now.
So in a way, these these rolls on the table. You pick your roll. He picks a roll. He picks a roll.
That's
They
not
have
the
the same
truth.
roll.
No, that's enough kamina because there you've been invited to participate in this major suda. So first of all, that's like the Reish Galusa story because there's going to be a benching with Sheva Brachas.
Eventually.
So, but that's
Yeah,
that
when I'm
is
asleep.
the key that you have to participate with. If not, since you were koveya suda with the 10 people that were on your table, because
So
that
you have to make a zimun.
you have to make a zimun.
Okay, so many times people just walk off and leave, and that's it.
So okay. You know what? You bring up a shaila. Is it because we say once you create? So you want to say that each person should be considered like an individual sitting there. I've given you argument where I would say not. You're not an individual. You've been invited to the simcha.
Yeah, but you're invited as an individual. You're not invited as a group.
Yes, you are.
You are as a group.
You are
Part
because
of
they
a
gave you
friend-
table
You're
5.
part of a group of friends.
No.
But
Right, and they established you at a certain table. They didn't. You just didn't sin randomly.
Yeah.
It's a good question. It's a very good question. From first thought, I would say that there's a chiyuv zimun, but we'll ask a good question. Anyways, gimel shesh v'lechol kach, azav b'shekol echad v'echad ochel mikikaro. So if 3 people purposely sat down to eat lunch together, they're on a trip, and they said to each other, let's stop at that table at that restaurant and eat. So that they were all kuveh suited together. Even if they're eating it from their own lunch bag, you make a zimun. That means they're not eating from the same kicker. So 3 people have come, but they've come from 3 different previous zimun groups. Ein and Rishon l'chalik. Rashi says, Gimel Shabbat Mishon Chavur. Kosayim Rav Chizda Shabbat Gimel Chavur Shel Gimel Bnei Adam. Right? They each came from a place Zimun. B'chol Chavur v'nischayvu elu b'Zimun. They're already mechayiv b'Zimun somewhere else. V'omad echad mikol Chavur v'nistarfu shloshel Chavur achas. Now, one from each group left, and now there is a new group of three. Chayavin lezamein v'en rashai lechalik shekvar hukvu. There was already kviya, even though it wasn't kviya by themselves. It was kviya with the other group. V'afilu lo achlu ela shloisha.
Here's the answer of his question. Even though each one eats from his own loaf, they are not allowed to separate.
But that we said that if it's you're traveling with a group of people, and the three people say, "Oh, you see that rest up there? Let's all sit down and eat lunch."
You know,
there."
I was referring to the question before here, but in a way,
Johnny's question.
you sat down and you ate your own bread. You still have to.
Exactly. It's not,
You have to
it's not your own
stay.
bread either at a wedding. It's certainly not your own bread.
It was
Not your
given
own
to you
bread.
by the
By the
Balabayas,
host.
yeah.
So there's a kaviyah suda there. Like we said, Amar Rava, V'loy Amaron. Yeah, now we're on Nun Amid days. Loy Amaron Eloy Agdimu Anich Va'izem Elai B'duchtay. It's only we say this din. They have not made a zimun previously in the group that they were in, and then one of them separate. Now, if from the group that they left, they already had din zimun, so there's no chiyuv zimun. The chiyuv zimun is left because they've already benched already. How do you see this? It's not. We learned it from a din in Tumah. Mita shenig b'chatzer. You have a bed that's been broken in half. Sha'av the chatzer. Or shechalku achim. Let's say brothers inherited this bed and they divided it. O shutafin. Tahoira. A broken bed that's been cut in half is not makabel tumah. Hechzirua. Once they put the bed together, makabel is tumah. Only mikana lahaba. From now on, after you put it together, mikana lahaba in l'mafreya lo. Ama kivan to pagua. Once it was divided parach la tumah. The tumah fled. Means if they are, each one of this group of three came from a group of three previously, so there were groups of 9, 1, 1, 1. But if each one of those groups are already mizamin, the chiyuv zimun has gone away. Ton. So we said two groups are in the same house, but they're in different rooms, so they don't see each other. They can't join. But says the Gemara, Yesh shamish b'neim, shamish b'tzarfim. If there's one waiter, you hired a waiter to serve in your house, even though you have two groups of people, but the one waiter serves both groups of people, that is mitzvah of the two groups, that you make a zimun. Then we said, Eim avarkan ala yayin, unless you dilute it. Torah boron, yayin, ashlo nasno sechol mayim. In fact, Eim avarkan ala boy per gefen. You make a boy per eitz, because it's not really wine yet. You can even wash your hands with it. It's considered like water. Once they dilute it, you can't use it for Natil Sedai. Give it Eliezer. We make a boy per no matter what. We can't use it for Natil Sedai. For example, there are poskim that hold that you can use wine for Natilas Yadayim. This what comes into play? This issue of can you use food for any other purpose? So the din of Shmuel is you can use a loaf of bread for anything, even not just for food. Let's say you want to lean something on it or whatever. Or is it considered to be zoyon for the food? So we'll see. Shmuel says, Oisaram kol tzorcha b'pas. Keman kom Yezer. On Rav Yezer Rav Kalim, Modim Chachom Rav Yezer, B'koishel bracha, she'en v'orcha l'vad shitel sochla. A koshel bracha, right? You get a bench on the kos. So then you have to put water in it, because otherwise it's inferior. My time, huh? Amar Rav Shea be'in mitzvah v'namuvchor. Otherwise it's not v'namuvchor. Now, Rabbanon, undiluted wine, l'may chazi. Rav Zer chazi l'koraitu. L'koraiti. It's like used to make medicinal drinks. You have to start off with strong wine, and you would dilute it with various things. So since there's a use for it, you can make a bracha. Torah. Daled dvar nemru b'pas. There are 4 halachas regarding bread. Ein manichin b'sar chai ala pas. You don't take raw meat and put it on a loaf of bread. Why is that? blood that's in the meat is going to drip on the bread. It's going to ruin it. So again, it's bizoyo.
Bevor du gesalzen?
We're taking before gesalzen.
No. Wenn it's treif.
In a chanami, now you can't eat the
That's
pas.
why.
So lechatchila, don't put a piece of raw meat on the pas. Vein mavirin kois mole ala pas.
Because of what?
No, if you have a glass full of something, any liquid, don't pass it over a loaf of bread because it may spill and ruin the bread. So again, it's like it's about tashchis concept,
Oh, okay.
Unless you do it in Bundeskenny.
and it's bzuya. It's a bizoya onto the bread.
Delicious.
Vein zorkinas apas, right? All of our parents at the table
Don't throw bread.
don't throw food.
But-
They would say, don't play with your food.
No, but I've seen.
By the shrine, they throw
They
it.
throw.
I know, but it's
No, from one hand to the other one.
No.
150 hands.
No,
the soup,
I've
the
seen it
noodle
through.
of the soup.
The soup they throw.
Yeah, and everybody make a legs.
Yeah.
to the next one.
They take your head off and put it in the soup. That's it.
So ein zorkinas apas. Vein soimchinas akarbapas. Don't lean one of your plates on on a piece. You can't use the bread. Ameimar umarzut Ravashi korchol rifta barerari. Marzut and Ravashi were eating bread together. Aisul kamut tamri v'rimoini. They brought pomegranate and dates. Shokol marzutra. Potach kamid Ravashi. I guess he threw the fruit to Ravashi. Only the Savar Lamar Lahad the Tanya ain't zorkin sarichlin. Don't you know that Allah you're not supposed to throw food? So he answered, "Ahibe Tanya." No, it's only bread. But we're going to see food that it doesn't get ruined by throwing it. You can throw, right? I mean, if you throw it and it gets squashed and it's not good, it ruins it. So that you're not allowed to do.
It's not cooked also.
No, but an orange in a peel, I roll it to you. So that's not a bizoy. I didn't do it. That's how I transfer it to you. Like Moore's going to say. I vatari afal zorkin is a possible zorkin is. So haibe pas Tanya. I vatanya kashem shein zorkin the pas kach in zorkin sochlan. There's a brayso that says you can't throw any food. Or malay vatanya afal pishein zorkin the pas aval zorkin sochlan. There's two braysos in contradiction with each other. One says you can't throw food. The other says you can throw food. So, like we said, something that is going to get disgusting when you throw it, you then can't throw. If it's not disgusting when you throw it, then you can throw it. And by pas does make a difference. Pas you can't throw any time, whether it's mos or not mos. Torabon. There was some kind of minig that they would lay pipes in front of a chosn and kal, and they would pour wine through it, and it would flow through the pipes. It's a siman bracha. So, you're using the wine for something other than drinking, that you were allowed to do. The zork lifneim klois v'gozim b'masachama. And for example, what do the goyim do? They throw rice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it started from the Gemara that they threw egozim walnuts. Kloyos are like raisins.
And off roof, they throw stuff. Same thing.
That's all. You throw
They
candies.
throw candies.
Yeah, but here's the
Nuts.
chosn of kala. Like at the end of a goyish wedding, you see them
Well,
throw
that's for
rice.
fertility. That's for fertility. That's what it is.
Okay, here
constipation.
kloyos v'gozim. However, chama. Only in the summer. Why? Because in the summer it's dry. You could pick up the walnut and eat it.
Yeah.
But
Shell is
avalo
still in the shell, or
the shell. If it was not in the shell, you wouldn't be able to eat it.
right? So they throw shell. It hurt somebody.
Underhand only.
How about coconuts?
Okay, but even maybe even other nuts that are. I guess if it's warm, it's not going to get ruined.
Coconuts, I think they should.
Avalo gluskos. Pieces of cake you can't throw.
Oh,
Lobi masacham lobi zakshanu, because they're going to get ruined no matter what. Amar Rav Yehuda, shachach v'chichnis oich l'toch piv below bracha. Here's a halacha question. You forgot to make a motzi. You forgot to make a bracha,
You put it in your mouth.
and you started eating it. What do you do? Misakin l'tzach echad u'mavarech. So you move it over to one side in your mouth, and you make the bracha. That's according to one opinion. Tanya chada boilon. No, first swallow it and then make the bracha. But Tanya idich polta, spit it out and then make the bracha.
And then eat it.
And then you-
Then eat it.
No,
That's-
they make your bracha.
Make a
No, it
bracha,
says
eat
spit it
again.
out, recite the blessing, and then eat it.
Okay, well, hang on a minute. The Tanya Masalkan, when it says move it over to the side, so like kasha. How the Tanya boil on b'mashkin? Now, when the Brisa said swallow it, we're talking about a liquid. You
Oh.
can't move it over to the. You can't. You got.
Right.
It's the EF to do it any other way. How the Tanya polton something that it said spit out immediately loimamais. Well, there are things that you eat that you could spit out. It doesn't. It's not disgusting.
Right.
You could spit it out, make a bracha, then take it back in.
Gum.
How the Tanya Masalkan, we made him a
Do you make
mois.
a bracha on gum?
You make a shot call.
Gum?
But you're not swallowing.
Are you eating it?
What
You
are
are,
you
you're
eating?
having that, and then you swallow you swallow
That's
the
right, you
juice
have
that comes out of
yeah.
it.
זה פחות מגרגיר. The sugar, the taste, what it פחות
But you're
מגרגיר.
swallowing the sugar, I
But
suppose.
it's, you make a
yeah.
bracha on a glass of water.
You swallow it, though.
Yeah, but the
Right.
quantity
But
of
the-
a
but-
gum, what you swallow, the sugar, it's less than גרגיר.
The only thing I know you don't make a bracha on is medicine. It's not
Oh.
oichel.
Uh-huh.
Like if you take a pill,
Yeah.
no bracha on the pill.
If you chew tobacco, you get.
And if you drink it with less than, say again?
Oh.
If you chew tobacco, did you make shayako?
No, because
No.
you're not, that's not nutritive.
But it's a
You-
juice that you get.
You swallow tobacco juice?
No,
No.
it's
No,
No, you spit that out.
Except on Pesach,
I wouldn't know.
because it's
So the
leaven.
gum you swallow. I mean,
hopefully not.
oh yeah, now we're in Nun Aleph.